Hi, I'm Susan Mundy, a former reporter with News 13 WLOS, and I'd like to share some important information with you about our veterans and a nonprofit organization that's working to change their lives. It's called Heroes to Heroes Foundation, and this is a very vital program that runs a year-long event for veterans to come together and bond with one another. Part of the program, the pinnacle part of it, is that it allows a 10-day visit to the Holy Land for these veterans. It's a trip that is transformative, simply amazing, and helps bring restoration and healing to these veterans. We're here at the Falling Creek Campground, which is a beautiful place to explore God's world and the amazing nature. And we're going to also talk to 3 people, veterans, who have actually been transformed by their experience with Heroes to Heroes.
My name is Diana Hixenbaugh. I served in the Army Reserve first in 1988 to 1994, and I ended up being activated for Desert Storm in 1991. I spent 11 and a half months in Saudi Arabia.
My name's David Adams. A year after high school, I decided to get a little bit of direction in my life, and I joined the U.S. Army in 1989, and I served through 1993, 82nd Airborne Division, so I used to parachute out of airplanes. So I went to Desert Storm in 90 and 91 during the first Iraq war.
I'm Joni Dickson, and I was in the Air Force. I spent 4 years active, a little reserves, but I was medically discharged from the reserves from a lot of active duty injuries. I worked in air evac, transporting patients to different bases, because not all bases have the same, a lot of them only have clinics versus a medical center. They might need more intense medical care. And so I did a lot of physical work with that. So I've had about 20 surgeries. So there was a lot of issues that I faced over there that women shouldn't have to face. We shouldn't have to do that. I had my hair pulled, I was spit on, my boots spit on, which is very disrespectful. Hit with a billy club in the back of my knees. The men feel like, our own men feel like sometimes that we're property of theirs. Some of them are very protective, which is a very nice thing. But military sexual trauma is a real thing, and it shouldn't be, ever, and it shouldn't be tolerated. But unfortunately, it's still there. And even the young ones that come into the VA or just on the street talking to somebody, it's very real. And I'm not going to give details, but I'll definitely say that it's real and not something that somebody should have to go through.
Didn't see a whole lot of combat. Seen some combat, some people, a lot of people blown up and burned up. I guess one of the biggest things that stuck out with me was playing out in the field in Iraq, playing football on a Sunday afternoon for several hours, and these little kids came up to us and gave them some food out of our MREs, and one of the kids ran off where we'd been playing all day and stepped on a landmine and blew his leg off. That probably stuck with me more than anything because we'd been out there all day as well, so it could have been any one of us.
I also have multiple incidents of MST, military sexual trauma, that have affected me a lot in my life. So I attempted 12 times.
A lot of those guys I've had the experience and I've worked with over the years, they carry a lot of grief and self-doubt, and maybe it should have been me that got blown up or should have been me that got killed. They have a hard time wrapping their head around that.
We just don't have a rucksack on our back, but we still have a lot of weight on our shoulders that we need to get rid of.
I got accepted in Heroes to Heroes as a participant in 2019. So I went to Israel with them in, I think it was November 2019.
I didn't have a real strong relationship with God. I knew him. I knew who he was. I knew about him. I didn't really have a real strong connection. When we got into the prison where Jesus was held is when I had my breakdown. Some reason, somehow, my body just started shaking when I walked into that cave-like area. And that was it. I cried and still tried to figure out what was wrong. But the night before, I had talked to my team and told them that, there's just something I've been struggling with for a really long time. And I don't think that God would ever forgive me.
When I went there, I was looking forward to a lot of people, their church group, they only go to biblical locations. And that's wonderful, don't get me wrong. But the mixture of biblical and historical is what I like to say, sites, I didn't know what to expect on that end, but it gave me such a new perspective and respect and heart for the Jewish people and the history of the land. So the combination, I don't even know how to explain it. It just really broadens you. It's a lot to see in one day. Sometimes you go to 4 places a day most of the time, so you have to come back and really decompress. Did I just go?
I felt like it was life-changing. I was been in a dark place, and get kind of depressed, and you don't realize what it is sometimes, and you start thinking about things you've seen, people mangled bodies and other things that kind of builds up. You don't realize it, but it was life-changing. It helped me realize I need God more in my life, and to walk the streets where Jesus walked. That was just heartfelt, life-changing. Felt like I'd drawn closer to Jesus and God was there.
When you don't feel like you want to be there tomorrow, there's so many reasons to feel like it. I mean, I was literally not in control, but kind of giddy jumping, but not, I felt it, but I didn't start it on purpose as I was walking down those steps to go where he was born. Getting baptized in the Jordan River is a whole nother level.
I was in awe a lot of the whole 10 days I was there.
Heroes to Heroes gave me, I think, a second chance at life. I was kind of on the edge of not wanting to be here anymore. And that's shameful just to say it. I have 2 kids, beautiful children. Heroes saved me.
Heroes to Heroes helped change my life. So I feel like a more open person, able to share more things, help get out of a depressive state. So really glad and thankful to God that I had that opportunity. I found Heroes to Heroes and been able to give back as a coach.
Heroes to Heroes is an organization that I'll never not stop helping, fundraising for, raising money for. I think every veteran should be able to go and have that opportunity. And that's why we do what we do. We fight, and that's to bring in more money for them so they can take more and more veterans.
Donors and sponsors are so valuable. But a lot of other types of fundraising, $25 here and there, it still adds up. So, and I know in the day's economy, it's hard, and just anything, knowing the value of what the trip does, but knowing also if you could help some other veteran go.
I would highly recommend it to anyone who wants to participate in it. It is truly life-changing. It's the best veterans program I've ever experienced, and I plan on supporting them for the rest of my life. So hope Judy, the founder, can keep growing the organization. So we need more donors and sponsorship to do that.